Hello everyone and welcome to lesson 21.1B. I've entitled this video, Climate, Vegetation, and Natural Resources of Central Africa. This video is going to cover pages 646 to 649. Climate and Vegetation. Because Central Africa is centered on the equator, the climate in much of the region is tropical. Temperatures are warm to hot, and rainfall is plentiful. The amount of rainfall generally decreases as distance from the equator increases. In the northern and southern parts of the region, dry seasons alternate with wet seasons. Climate zones. The belt of Central Africa that lies along the equator has a warm, wet climate. Because of its location, this zone experiences little seasonal variation in weather and length of daylight. The midday sun is directly or almost directly overhead every day, and daytime temperatures are always high. Rainfall is abundant throughout the year, with totals greater than 80 inches in some areas. To the north and south of the region's equatorial zone lies tropical wet and dry climate zones. As the name suggests, these zones have both rainy and dry seasons. There is great climate variation within the zones. In the areas nearest the equator, the dry season typically lasts about 4 months. In the areas farthest from the equator, it might last as long as 7 months. Question number 1. What imaginary line runs through Central Africa? That is the equator. Question 2. What is the climate like in much of the Central Africa region? It's tropical. Temperatures are usually warm to hot, and they have plenty of rain. Question number 3. What is the climate like in the belt of Central Africa? It has warm, wet climate, and they have little variation as far as their weather and length of daylight. Question 4. What is the climate like in the areas to the north and south of the region's equatorial zone? The climate there is what we call tropical wet and dry climate zones, meaning they have both rainy and dry seasons. The dry season can last up to 4 months, and in some areas it can last as long as 7 months. Rainforest. A tropical rainforest, the second largest in the world, covers more than half of Central Africa, and you can see that pictured over here. In this rain-soaked realm, closely packed trees soar as high as 15-story buildings. The forest also holds a tremendous variety of other plants, some of which are used in traditional medicines. Scientists think that only a fraction of the plant species in the forest have been identified. Most remain to be discovered. The trees and other plants in the rainforest compete for survival. The interwoven crowns of the trees create a dense canopy or roof that blocks nearly all of the sunlight, leaving the lower levels in gloom. A tree seedling or sapling can only grow tall if a mature tree dies or if a wind blows down some of its branches, creating an opening in the canopy. Because of the lack of sunlight, the forest floor has few of the small plants found in other types of forest. Instead, the forest floor is covered by dead leaves that decompose rapidly in the warm, wet conditions. And you can see a diagram of the canopy rainforest layers concept. Question number 5. How big is the tropical rainforest in Central Africa? It is the second largest in the world. That's how big it is. Question number 6. How could the rainforest help humanity in the future with our health issues? Well, there are plants in the rainforest that are used in traditional medicines, and scientists believe that we haven't even discovered a fraction of what is possible. So there are still a lot of medicinal opportunities in these rainforests. Question number 7. How does the canopy of the rainforest impact the lower levels of the rainforest? Well, the dense canopy blocks the sunlight. Therefore, the trees that are below in these couple layers, it's very hard for them to get sunlight at all, so they can't really grow very much. So they have to basically wait for an opportunity when a mature tree dies or if the wind blows down some of the branches. But other than that, they're not getting much sunlight, which doesn't help them survive. Savannas. In the northern and southern areas of Central Africa, rainforests give way to savannas, or areas with a mixture of trees, shrubs, and grasslands. The exact mix of vegetation depends on the length of the dry seasons. Human activity over thousands of years might be responsible for an increase in the size of the savanna areas. Experts believe that the change of forest land into savanna could be the result of clearing land through slash and burn agriculture. This form of farming involves turning forest land into cropland. Trees and shrubs are cut down and burned in order to make the soil more fertile, at least temporarily. Within a few years, the soil becomes depleted and farmers move on. The plots of land are left so that trees and shrubs can return. Then the farmers return and repeat the process of cutting, burning, and farming. Sometimes plots remain fallow, that is, not planted, for as long as 20 years. Question number 8. How do savannas look different from the rainforest? Well, they are a mixture of trees, shrubs, and grassland versus the rainforest. They have a huge amount of trees, so you could definitely see a difference just by visually looking at a savanna. Question number 9. How might human activities contributed to the increase in savanna areas in Africa? Well, we believe that the change of forest lands into savanna is the result of the clearing of the land through the slash and burn agriculture that you see in the diagram to the right. Question number 10. What is slash and burn agriculture? This is a form of farming that turns forest land into cropland. Basically, the trees and shrubs are cut down and they're burned in order to make the soil more fertile, at least for a couple of years. But then eventually the soil becomes depleted and then the farmers leave and the process goes into a cycle. Question 11, as we talk about that cycle, what happens to the land after a couple of years of using slash and burn agriculture? The soil is left depleted and they can't use it for farming anymore, and so the people leave that soil for a while, sometimes as long as 20 years. Slash and burn agriculture provides a livelihood for many people. Others, however, point out that it destroys plant and animal habitats, creates air pollution, and is causing the world's tropical forests to shrink at an alarming rate. Those who support protecting the environment worry that activities that harm rainforests threaten biodiversity. Biodiversity refers to the wide variety of life on Earth. These conservationists argue that if ecosystems are wiped out, numerous valuable species will be lost forever. Question number 12. Got way ahead of myself there. What is a pro of using slash and burn agriculture? It provides a way of life, a livelihood for people, so it provides them an opportunity to make a living. Question 13. However, what are 3 cons of using slash and burn agriculture? Number 1, it destroys plant and animal habitats. Number 2, it creates air pollution. And number 3, it's causing the world's tropical forest to shrink at an alarming rate. Question 14. What does the word biodiversity mean? It means the wide variety of life here on planet Earth. Natural resources. Central Africa is rich in mineral, energy, and other resources. However, many of these resources have not yet been developed. Mineral resources. The greatest abundance of mineral resources in Central Africa is found in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Within that country, the area richest in mineral resources is a province called Katanga. Katanga holds deposits of more than a dozen minerals, including cobalt, copper, gold, and uranium. Minerals mined in other areas of the country include diamonds, iron ore, and limestone. Question number 15. The greatest abundance of mineral resources in Central Africa are found in which country? The Democratic Republic of the Congo, the DRC. Question number 16. What are 4 important mineral resources found in the Katanga province in the DRC? You have cobalt, copper, gold, uranium. Question number 17. What are 3 other important resources found in the DRC? Diamonds, iron ore, limestone. Gabon produces more than a tenth of the world's supply of manganese. This hard, silvery metal is used in the manufacture of iron and steel. The country also produces uranium, diamonds, and gold, and it holds reserves of high-quality iron ore. Question number 18. What does Gabon produce more than 10% of the world's supply? Manganese. Question number 19. Why, or how do humans use manganese? It's used in the manufacturing of iron and steel. Question number 20. What 4 natural resources does Gabon produce? They produce uranium, diamonds, gold, and iron ore. Bauxite and cobalt are among Cameroon's most significant mineral resources. Equatorial Guinea has deposits of uranium, gold, iron ore, and manganese. Most of these deposits have yet to be exploited. Diamond mining is an important industry in the Central African Republic. Rich deposits of uranium, gold, and other minerals could bring the country wealth in the future. Question number 21. What are the two main mineral resources found in Cameroon? Bauxite and cobalt. Question number 22. What four mineral resources are found in Equatorial Guinea? You have uranium, gold, iron ore, and manganese. Question 23. What are three mineral resources found in the Central African Republic? You have uranium and gold and diamonds. Question number 24 is on the next slide, so let's go ahead and go to there. Why have the mineral resources in some parts of Central Africa remained underdeveloped? Political instability, civil conflict, and the high cost of investment have played a role. Perhaps the most important reason, however, is that the region lacks good transportation networks. In the Democratic Republic of the Congo, for example, the Congo River still serves as the major transportation artery. The landlocked Central African Republic also must use rivers for transport. It has few paved roads and no railways. Similarly, most roads in Equatorial Guinea are unpaved and there is no railway system. Question number 24. What are the four main reasons why mineral resources in some parts of Central Africa are underdeveloped? You have political instability, so some of the governments have not been stable. You have civil conflict, so fighting amongst the people. The high cost of investment, it takes a lot of money to invest in order to get that money back. And then fourth, the lack of good transportation systems. They just don't have a lot of good paved roads or railroads. Other resources. The region is rich in resources other than minerals. In the Democratic Republic of the Congo, for example, rapids and waterfalls on the Congo River and its tributaries offer vast potential for hydroelectric power. The forest reserves of the DRC are rivaled by few countries in the world. Fish from the ocean and its freshwater systems provide another important resource. Developing these resources, however, will affect the environment. Damming rivers for hydroelectric power results in large changes to river ecosystems. Deforestation and habitat change occur when forests are cut. Question number 25. What are three other natural resources that the DRC has in abundance? They have water, so for hydroelectric power, and they have fish, and they have trees. Question number 26. What are the main pro and the main con of developing the resources that have underdeveloped in Central Africa? Well, the pro is it would help their economy. It would boost their chances to become more profitable and to give a better living for the people that are there. However, the con is the environmental impacts that it has. Developing the resources can lead to changes in ecosystems, and it can change the habitats, and it can change our whole global climate as well. In the 1990s, large reserves of petroleum and natural gas were discovered under the seafloor of Equatorial Guinea's Atlantic coast. The export of oil and gas products has boosted the country's economy. Likewise, petroleum has been Cameroon's leading export since 1980. The country also has developed gas deposits, but the high cost of development has kept them untapped. Nearly all of Cameroon's energy comes from dams that generate hydroelectricity. Well, thank you so much for watching. Before we go, what is this hydroelectric energy you speak of? Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.